to be like that, not only for national departments, for provincial departments, as Honorable Mulukuma was saying earlier, for local government as well. You may take local government easy, but some of our cities, they have budgets far bigger than national departments. I mean, if you go to a city of Joburg and see how much they manage, some of the national departments don't even manage that kind of budget. So training is important. Let's have the skills, but the laws and the regulations must be tight. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from the Honourable Mokhai.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy Chair. And once again, welcome to the Deputy President, to the NCOP. It's always good to have you in our chamber. Mr. Deputy President, the fact of the matter is that 10,679 legal claims were made against the state's health departments between 2015 and 2020, amounting to a total of 107 billion rands. This amount is close to half of what the department's budget was in those 5 years, about 215 billion rands, which should be used for hiring health workers, buying medicine, and running hospitals. Fraud and incompetence are robbing South Africans of decent health care. When will an electronic case management system be implemented across all provinces in our country? I thank you, Deputy Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Mokhai. Honourable President, Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you very much, Honourable Deputy. And thanks, Honourable Mokhai, for the follow-up question. Did I say Mokhai? Yes, I'm correct. Yeah. Not Mokhai. 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 Okay, Mokhai. Honorable Mokhai, you are quite right. This area of medical legal has been a playground for people basically swindling the state, especially the legal profession. And therefore, we need to tighten the screws there. Now, at the moment, what we have done through the investigating agency of the state, we are investigating in all provinces. So not just one province, I think all 9 provinces. Already as we speak, there are cases there to give you, because it's a lot of information that I checked when I wanted to see what's happening in all provinces, Gauteng, the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, everywhere. So the SIU is investigating a lot of those claims, fraudulent claims, because the problem with medical legal is that most of it is related also to accidents. So it's very easy for people to how can I put it, to come with false information, if I may put it that way. And then the state has to pay and so on. So I can assure you, Honorable Mokhai, that we are intervening now on this one. It will take a bit of time because I think fraudulent activities were just too many in this sector of medical legal claim. They run into billions of rands, and therefore it will take some time. But we have started, and we've started in all provinces, and very soon we'll be able to make a breakthrough. And over time, we want to clean that sector to make sure that claims that are paid must be claims that deserve to be paid, not fraudulent activities where people have found ways of making easy money through the state. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. We go to the final follow-up question, and that's from the Honorable Nzimande.
No, thanks, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Deputy President Paulos Shikoposa Mashatile. No, Deputy Chairperson, I hear the President, the Deputy President. Deputy President is talking on symptoms and not necessarily the root causes. The challenges that you are facing, it's about the root causes. And that's what also the SIU has found, and they've dealt with the causal factors. The causal factors will include the issue of human resource for health. There is few capacity because of austerity measures that are imposed. Workers are now much concerned about the routine instead of a quality. That's where then you'll find adverse events occurring, serious adverse events. Now, the issue that we want to check with the President, Deputy President, because obviously will include the issue of the tracking system from the point of entry of a patient to the exit. It's what also is found in the SIU report. But secondly, it's a question that deals then with the human resource for health, which globally it is accepted that there must be growth, including the issue of capacity. But we see in this government doing contrary. You can hear from Gauteng that there is an embargo on filling of posts, which is a problem. Now we want to check with the Deputy President. What intervention are you going to make to assist that there is this
Honorable Member, your time has expired.
Of filling of posts? And secondly,
Thank you,
is
Honorable
that
Member. Please,
how are you going to deal
please
with
take
the
your seat.
systems
Your time
that
has
will
expired.
address the issue of state attorneys that
Your
are the
time
ones
has
that
expired,
are
Honorable
corrupt?
Member. Honorable Deputy President, your response, if there was a question.
Yes, there was a question at the end, but I was struggling to hear because members were making noise.
No, it's about the findings that deals with
No,
the
Honorable
state
Member, I have not
attorneys as
recognized you
the
to
ones
speak.
that are directly
Honorable
involved.
Nzimande,
How do you assist on
you are
that?
out of order, sir. I haven't recognized you to speak. No, I'm chairing.
So I was just respecting the
No,
Deputy
you don't
President.
just.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Honorable Nzimanda spent a lot of time restating the problem. And that's why I was struggling to hear the question at the end. But let me say, Honorable Nzimanda, that yes, we have to deal with the root causes. If we find out that in some of our provinces, people who are dealing with the systems, whether they're from HR, etc., looking at the tracking system, if we find that there's a weakness there, we will intervene. Because remember, these people are also dealing with shrewd lawyers. So the fraudulent system in medical legal is not just by, tsotsis in the street. You track this. But the good thing is that, as I said, we are looking at all provinces. We already have evidence of what is being looked at, whether it's in the Eastern Cape, Gauteng, etc. We have a sense of the value of the claims that are being looked at, whether they are correct. And it's quite shocking because they run into billions of rands. So it means there must be collaboration in the state. Those who are investigating those who are working in the system, because sometimes when people defraud the system, they use people in the system. So it may not be because your HR people are not people who are properly skilled, but maybe they may be part of the scam. So you need to look into all that. But I can say, Honorable Deputy Chairperson, that the issue of medical legal fraud, those challenges are definitely being attended to. We are looking at them. We need to deal with them because we're talking about serious money, as you say, that could be used to improve the quality of lives of our people. Is going down the drain if it's going out through fraud. But thank you very much for your question. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. We now move on to the next question that was asked by the Honorable Makasini. Honorable Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson. Honorable Makasini, the question you are raising has been emphasized by honorable members in the National Assembly recently on the urgent need for service delivery intervention at local government level. This Tuesday, we had an extended joint service delivery and water task team meeting with ministers, deputy ministers and premiers of provinces, where we agreed on the need to ensure the speed of execution in the delivery of services. Together, we also agreed that we will be on the ground working with municipalities in the context of the district development model, the DDM. When delivering the medium-term budget policy statement, the Minister of Finance announced that 50 of the 250 municipalities in the country have active financial recovery plans. And this number is quite small. The minister also highlighted that 3 municipalities are under national intervention. And these are Mangaung, Inok Mgijima, and Likwa. I had a meeting with both ministers of COPTA and ministers of sanitation, water and sanitation, as I said earlier, Honorable Tlhabisa and Honorable Majodina. And we discussed how best we can ensure strengthened support to municipalities through the implementation of the district development model. To this end, the ministers have announced measures to address related challenges in various municipalities. Amongst others, these interventions include the completion of a 260 million rand project to upgrade the James Kleinhans water treatment works in Makana local municipality. Honorable Deputy Chairperson, some of the municipalities identified for prioritized interventions includes the Tsobotla in the Northwest, Kopanong and Mafube in the Free State, Emfuleni in Gauteng, and Tabazimbi in Limpopo. When delivering his budget vote speech, the Minister of Cooperative Government and Traditional Affairs announced the budget of 395 billion rands, 395 million, with 95.9% of it set aside for distribution to municipalities related institutions. This budget will primarily fund the local government equitable share, disaster relief grants, and municipal infrastructure projects. Honorable Deputy Chairperson, through the Municipal Infrastructure Support Agent, MISA, government continues to support distressed municipalities with infrastructure investment in order for them to deliver essential services or municipal services to our people. So this support is, we're going to continue to provide it. And I should say, Honorable Deputy Chairperson, that the report that both Minister of Cocta and Water and Sanitation have will be useful for members of the NCOP to receive, maybe early in the year, because they gave me a very detailed report of work they are doing already. I remember these Cocta slides were about 80 pages. And same with Water. So they are doing extensive work at that level, and members may want to get them to come and brief you. Very good work that they are doing, very extensive. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. We now go on to the follow-up question from Honorable Makasini.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. Greeting, Deputy Chair. I thought you'll add the Machabeng in your municipality. Grossly, our municipality are underperforming in terms of governance, financial management, and service delivery. The municipalities, but have also collapsed in failing to on the financial affairs. The EFF has on many platforms maintained that the collapse of municipality is taking away the resources that were supposed to be delivered to our people. In light of this time frame, Deputy President, have you put in place for the implementation of the intervention, which you have mentioned, what specific indicators to be used to monitor the success of the intervention, and what is the estimate budget cost allocation? That will, I think we are going to add also Machabeng, because we are worried about that municipality. Thank you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Makasini. Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairperson. Honorable Makasini, indeed, Machabeng is there. I just missed it somehow when I was preparing the report, but it is there in the report that they presented. So you can be rest assured that we won't leave it behind. I did mention it. Okay. Somebody said they had me mentioning. Yes, but let me say that there are a number of municipalities. I must say, Deputy Chairperson, that in fact we are beginning to see improvements where there are interventions. When the Minister of Cocta gave a report, we can see we are getting somewhere. So let us make sure that we look at all of them. Malutia Pofung, there's also Ngwate, the Val in Gauteng, look at that area of Sidibeng. I did mention Makana. So we are looking at this. In fact, Minister of Water and myself also visited Limpopo not long ago. We went to Guyane to look at, we were at that time looking at challenges of water. So we are engaging many of these municipalities. But as I said, early in the year, I'll talk to the two ministers to come to the NCOP and brief you about the good work that they are doing, very extensive, so that when you do your oversight work, you can actually use it to say, okay, ministers, you said you are in this area, you are doing the following. We have gone there, we saw nothing. Or we have gone there, indeed, we can see progress. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. We now move on to the next follow-up question. That's from the Honorable Brits.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair. Good afternoon, Deputy President. Good to see you again in our house. Deputy President, noting that the DDM pilot program was launched in the eThekwini Metro, the OR Tambo and Waterberg district municipalities, noting that SALGA comprehensively reported on the lessons learned and challenges facing the DDM pilot rollout in these municipalities and the metro. Noting further that not even the Auditor General is aware of any successful implementation of the DDM, and also noting that SALGA cited 9 emerging key challenges facing the DDM. Can you please provide information on the current status of the DDM program, the implementation thereof in other municipalities or metros beyond the initial pilot areas, and whether there are any objective reports or evaluations available that objectively assess this DDM program success?
Thank you, Honorable Brits. Honorable Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Honorable Brits, yes, indeed. You will recall that the DDM is one of the, if I may put it, new approach that we are using to force collaboration, integration. And the reason was because we realized that the 3 spheres of government are doing things parallel. National government comes, does its own project, provincial government, local government. I had an opportunity to go to eThekwini, and I found that the approach of the DDM was very useful in the way they were intervening, especially because we came from that. When I visited, it was just after the floods. And the interventions brought in all the municipalities in the areas, the provincial government. I went with all the national government departments that were relevant to the challenges then, particularly the water and sanitation. And that approach helped a lot because we're able to integrate the plans, the resources, and now we're rolling it out throughout the country. So I've been to other places as well in the Eastern Cape and Limpopo, Gauteng. So the DDM is working. I may not have all the examples of our success stories, but it is working as we speak. At least where I've been, I found that people are excited to be brought together in that manner. When I visit this area, sometimes I think, okay, maybe I'll see the MEC responsible for water or for economy, but then, I come there and I find almost all the MECs, the premiers, all the mayors, the officials, the DGs. So it's something exciting that I think we should push it as a way of life. That's how government should work. We must not go back to the silos of the past. I think we should make this a way of life. We must work this way. It's useful, it's working. And although when we started, there were other people who were skeptical that, no, this won't work. But it is working. It is working. And we will be doing more visits in the coming months to various areas. Even the areas I visited, I think we deserve to go back to look at what's happening there, like Jacques-Fontaine in the Free State. But the reports that we are getting are very good. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from the Honorable Briet.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Welcome, Mr. Deputy President. Sir, I would like to find out what assurances, and I'll start with my question and then give an explanation. what assurance do we have that the municipalities that were mentioned as service delivery hotspots and focused on in the sixth administration by yourself and your previous incumbent, by means of steps that you are going to take, please explain to us how can we assure that those municipalities will not be left by the wayside and just be left now that we have new focus municipalities. Although we welcome these municipalities, and I agree with the fighter in front of me of Machabeng, that is very good, but we need to see those municipalities, because in the sixth administration, Mr. Deputy President, you made a commitment when I asked you a question regarding Mukaka and the wastewater treatment work in Kroonstad. And to this day, that was during this year, right before the election. To this day, nobody has gone to visit it and it's still unoperational. So this to me clearly indicates that we are just forgetting about those municipalities. What can we expect? Thank you, Mr. Deputy President and House Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Briet. Honorable Deputy President, your response.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chairperson. Honorable Briet, I've made a note of that. You're quite right. Sometimes, because we are in the new administration, there are new ministers, it is easy for some of the interventions to fall by the wayside. But at least because of those who were in the sixth administration have given full reports to the new team. So the ministers of Kokta and Water and others who are responsible at that level have these reports. I will check with them about Kroonstad, and I agree with you that if we made a commitment that we will sort out things are not moving, the minister should be made aware immediately. So I undertake to do that myself because I work very well with those ministers, and I think it will be good to go and see what's happening in Kroonstad and be able to fix things there. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We now go on to the final question, follow-up question, and that's from the Honorable Kaunda.
Angibonge Sekela Sihlalo, ngibingelele kusekela mongameli welizwe lakithi inqola emasondo emthembile kulomsebenzi ukuthi sishintshe impilo zabantu bakithi zibe ngcono. Sekela mongameli, kuyiqiniso ukuthi eningizimu Afrika omasipala bawu257 kodwa abanengqinamba ezinkulu bawu35. Kuyasikhathaza ke lokho. Ingakho nje sifisa ukubheka kakhulukazi kujwayele ukuthi kuqondane ukuthi labo masipala bangatholi imibiko kaMcwaningi Mabhuku u-Auditor General ekuyiyona echaza ukuthi benze kahle. Bajwayele ukuthi bengadlulisi kahle idingo kubantu, bengaphathi kahle imali, bengasingathi kahle ukulawula nokuphatha komasipala kanye nokwenza ukuhlinzeka ubuholi obulindelekile. Ngakho ke umbuzo uthi kungabe konke ungenelela usuphendule kahle Sekela mongameli kokunye usungikhavile. Mhlambe likuphi lolu daba umongameli athema kuqala onyaka evula iParliament wathi kuzofanele kubhekwe lolu daba luthi indlela okuhlinzekwa ngayo ngeimali omasipala i-review ngoba omasipala abaningi abakwazi nje ukuthi besebenze ngoba banawo amandla kakhulukazi enkece imali ukuthi benze umsebenzi. Ngiyabonga Sekela Sihlalo.
Siyabonga, Honorable Kaunda. And Honorable Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chairperson. Mangibonge mphathi wedolopha. That's how I know him. In fact, Honorable Kaunda can attest that when I visited eThekwini, he was there. Yes, we worked very well together there to look at this problem. Mangibonge ke ukuthi into emali ibaluleke kakhulu. Uma ubheka amadolobha amaningi where we're not doing well, most of them will be complaining about financial resources. The model of local government in South Africa worked on an assumption that municipalities collect rates. And therefore, because they collect rates, water, electricity, and that people are paying, they have money to run those cities, to deal with infrastructure and so on. But the reality is different. Many of our municipalities don't have a local economic base. Even those where they are supplying a lot of water, electricity, and so on, not everybody's paying. And as a result, they don't have the revenue to run the cities properly. So, enye into ke mphathwe edolobha esiyenzayo ukuthi sibheke ukuthi sisebenza njani, kakhulukazi nomasipala abanganayo le capacity. You are lucky because eThekwini you are much better in terms of having resources, but some far outlying municipalities, that's where you find this problem of lack of resources. So we are prioritizing it in the interventions that we are looking at. We are looking at this challenge. Some of the the mayors from various parts of the country have already raised it. When we were at the Lekgotla, they raised this matter that can we review the way we deal with equitable share, because it's based on that notion that the local government can raise all the money it needs. That's why local government gets, I think if I'm correct, is it 15%? 9% of equitable share. So, so because it's based on that model, so we need to review it and look at it, because otherwise national government begins now to carry a lot of municipalities by default because they are not able to provide services. But there's something we are looking at, and I'm happy you raised it, Honorable Kaunda, sizoyibheka also bheka lo daba. Ngiyabule.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy President. I take it that you finished that one. I take it that you finished that question.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, we now move on to the next question that was posed by the Honorable Mokoena. Honorable Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Accelerating land reform remains the key priority of this government. Our interventions are focused on expediting the process of land claims for agricultural products, or rather agricultural production, to subsequently improve food security. I have recently met both the Ministers of Agriculture and the Minister of Land Reform and Rural Development, and the matter of fast-tracking land reform and land claims was at the top of the agenda when we discussed this matter. As part of this ministerial engagement, we have been able to structure the priorities of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Land Reform and Agriculture in terms of its program of action. This has enabled us to agree on some of the outstanding critical matters that require our immediate attention as we move forward with the land reform agenda. Honorable Deputy Chairperson, as part of ensuring that there is significant increase in agricultural production and improved food security, government continues to strengthen its post-settlement support to those whose claims have been settled in order for them to utilize the land productively. To this end, Cabinet has already approved the national policy on comprehensive producer support and development. The policy provides for the different category of farmers and the type of support to be provided to these farmers, especially those from disadvantaged communities, including women, youth, and persons with disabilities who are also involved in agricultural production. Furthermore, the Department of Agriculture has entered into partnerships with development partners such as community organizations and financial institutions to support farmers, many of whom are emerging producers, to improve accountability on the grants and support provided by government to farmers, build the credit profiles of these farmers for future access to finance, provide technical farming support to the farmers, and also provide farmers with an opportunity to market access. A practical example of the above-mentioned intervention relates to, amongst others, the establishment of a blended finance scheme in partnership with the Land and Agricultural Development Bank of Southern Africa to commercialize development farmers with the objective to facilitate meaningful participation, particularly of Black producers and majority Black-owned enterprises owning and controlling the agricultural value chain. These support measures will allow medium-scale producers to be linked to the necessary value chains as envisaged in the Agriculture and Agro-Processing Master Plan. Ultimately, this will enable our producers to supply the domestic and international market, as well as being equipped to become sustainable operations. Honorable Deputy Chair, as I conclude, according to the Department of Land Reform and Rural Development Commission on Restitution of Land Rights, had to adjust its targets downwards given funding pressures. In the latest assessment, the Commission indicated that an estimated 68 billion rand would be required for the next period of 5 years in order to fast-track the settlement of all order claims lodged since 1998. As we move forward, we'll have continuous engagement with the National Treasury in an effort to secure the required funding to fast-track the settlement of outstanding land claims in our effort to strengthen our land reform program and ensure the food security for everyone in our country. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. We go on to follow-up questions, and the first one will come from the Honorable Mokoena.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. Good afternoon, Deputy President. 80% of the communal property associations are simply unable to get employment due to budgetary considerations. I would like to know if there's any plan for these graduates, because we've seen some of them picketing outside the department in Tshwane. We feel that this is unacceptable, especially given the fact that South Africa recognizes agriculture as one of our important sectors. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The Honorable Deputy President will respond.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Mokoena. Yes, indeed, the policy is very good, but there are areas where it has not worked well, and we are looking at that. And some parts of the country, you've got very good projects in this regard. I had an opportunity to visit Mpumalanga, and I found that, particularly those who operate under the CPAs were they were doing quite well in their projects, but there are others where things are not going well. And that's where we need to look at, because beneficiaries of land restitutions and those who get opportunity to farm need to be able to succeed, because if you just make sure they have access to land, you give them land, but there is no support mechanism, many of them fail. And that's what we have noticed, that we must not just give people land and leave. We need to be able to provide the necessary support for them to utilize the land productively. You know, it's not everybody who's settled on the land who's a good farmer or who can overnight become a good farmer. So they need to be trained. So even the young people you're talking about, the graduates, we will look at that and be able to find a way of assisting them. When I was in KZN, and I'm sure Honorable Kaunda will remember, I was quite surprised because some of the successful farmers that we met there were very young people, young women, and very proud and telling me that they employ people. It was quite exciting. So we must make sure that we address these, wherever there are these problems, we address them so that we can support these young people. I was very excited to see these young people saying they are successful farmers, having acquired land, and one of them did, in fact, say that they would appreciate more support. Because sometimes they go to the banks, and we all know it's not easy to just get funding. So the blended finance scheme comes handy in that regard to assist these farmers to be able to become sustainable. Because over time, once we have helped them, if they run successful farms and produce and have access to markets, even internationally, they do well and they don't have to state with funding. But we will look at this challenge of the graduate. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from the Honorable Sithole. Joba.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairperson, Deputy President Nhlikani.
Aye.
Honorable Deputy President, despite numerous government intervention to support small and emerging farmers, access to finance remain one of the major barriers to entry and expansion for emerging farmers. Therefore, fast-tracking land claims will not yield the desired outcome if the country does not implement a rigorous strategy to expand financing support for small and emerging black farmers. Now, my question is, what progress is government making in cutting the cost of access to funding for small and emerging black farmers, particularly intermediaries such as established players like commercial farmers that viewed as not necessarily keen on providing adequate assistance to emerging farmers because they can potentially be their future competitors? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sithole. Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson Manan Sithole. In a way, I think it's the same challenge that everybody is raising, because in the land reform program, restitution and making sure people have access to land, we want to see sustainability, because the way the program should work is that there should be post-settlement support. So you get given land, there should be post-settlement support to enable you, especially those who want to do farming, to be able to farm and become economically viable. So, Honorable Sithole, as I said earlier, one of the things we are doing now is that we have a very active interministerial committee on land reform and agriculture. There's been a delay in them flexing their muscle because, as you know, this was one department, but it was separated in this term. So the ministers have asked for more time to see what falls under land reform, what falls under agriculture, who's going to push which program. But that interministerial committee is very active, and I interface with them all the time. We just need to ensure that we give more energy to the blended finance scheme in terms of access, because there are still farmers out there who are saying, well, we're still struggling. And when you send them to commercial banks, as I said earlier, it becomes difficult. There is one area that we are looking at with the ministers is some of the land is owned by traditional leaders. So the tenure rights there are a bit difficult for commercial banks, as we know, and we're trying to see how we can navigate around that. But I agree with you that I think we must ramp up post-settlement support, ensure the blended scheme becomes accessible to everybody who's got land, who wants to farm. And I will discuss this with the interministerial committee to make sure that they complete their internal discussion on who does what, so that we can get on with the business of supporting farmers out there, people who own the land, to be able to make it productive. But indeed, I think this is a question we must keep on top of our agenda. We have to deal with the issue of providing support. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from the Honorable Pinar.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Agbare, young President, sorry. Deputy President, before you start trying to expropriate productive, privately owned farms that are currently feeding the country, why are you not fast-tracking and prioritizing the distribution of state-owned farms that are currently sit at more than 6,000 to recipients with title deeds? Thank you, Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Pinar. Honorable Deputy President, your response.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Honorable Pinar, we are doing that. We are fast-tracking. As I said earlier, that the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development was one department, is now separated. And my discussion with the ministers as late as yesterday, they were finalizing between them who's doing what. But fast-tracking indeed. The approach that we are taking is that it's not either or. We need to look at both, because there are many people who need land for farming, for other forms of development. So yes, where there is state land, there shouldn't be a delay in getting that land be made available to people. Remember, where we expropriate land as well, as you say, is productive land. Some of the land in South Africa is in the hands of absentee landlords. So you have good productive land, but it's owned by someone who has even forgotten where it is, sitting in London or in Australia and all that. We want that land. So, yes, we want that land, especially when it's productive. We want it so that we can use it to benefit our people. But yes, we are fast-tracking government land that is available for the same purpose. So government as well must not sit with land lying fallow when people need it. And you know, in South Africa, there's an interesting story when you look at vast amount of land and you say, but this land, And they say, no, it's owned by the army. Like, what is the army doing? They want to train here. So you are quite right. State land must be made available, and other forms of available land must be made available as well for people to farm. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. We now move on to the final follow-up question by the Honorable Farmer.
He's a real farmer. Yeah, but he's a real farmer. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson, and thank you, Deputy President. Deputy President, I think you've covered me a great deal on post-settlement support. I've listed, however, 4 programs of government for post-settlement support, like your Integrated Food Security and Nutrition Program, IFSNP, Irrigation Revitalization and Development Program, Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program, CASP, as well as Micro Agricultural Financial Institutions of South Africa, MAFISA. However, there are too much claimants out there that's not being supported. We've had oversight recently in the Free State where land was given to claimants, yet they do not have a vehicle to reach their land. So my question is, seeing that we in the NCOP have taken this decision that the 7th term would be the one where stuff will start to happen, what can government ensure that these programs will be revitalized and revived? Thank you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Farmer. Honorable Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Honorable Farmer, when your name was called, why were they laughing? They were not sure whether you are a real farmer. But from the questions you ask, I think you show very interested, very good interest in this area. Post-settlement support, if it's not working, we need to intervene quickly, as Honorable Farmer is saying, because at the end of the day, many of those who receive land who are farming want to commercialize those farms to be able to be productive. We must help them with markets. We must help them with irrigation schemes. We must help them with other forms of support. Others must be able to ensure that their production reach agro-processing. And all those are not easy. But Honorable Farmer, what I will do with the ministers, relevant ministers, is to look at, as you say, that there are some claimants out there who, as you say, seem to be neglected, if I may use that word, that there are programs that are working, but some claimants seem to be neglected. We shouldn't neglect anybody. I want everybody in this program to succeed. Gone are the days when people get land through restitution, etc., and when you pass, you see the land lying fallow. There are stories like that. And I've had horrible stories of someone saying that there was a farmer, government bought land from this farmer, gave it to a community, and this farmer took the money, 40 million, went to farm elsewhere in Mozambique, and He came back past his old farm, nothing was happening. Went back, bought the farm again from those people, and started farming. So we don't want that. We want to make sure that when we give people land, they use the land productively. And Honorable Farmer, that's going to be our preoccupation, and we'll look at this issue of these claimants who seem to be neglected, or they are, there is no production on their farms, and we'll find out what are the challenges and be able to make sure that they too can succeed. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you, Deputy President. That ends the fifth question. We now go on to the final set of questions, and that is the question that was posed by the Honorable Numalo. Deputy President, your response.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Honorable Numalo, the question of extortion-based economy that is controlled by ruthless gangsters and extortionists poses a serious concern to us as government and also law-abiding citizens. We have also responded to a related question in the National Assembly recently, highlighting the urgent need for government to take decisive action to deal with extortion-related criminality. When delivering his statement on threats posed by extortion in the National Assembly on the 3rd of September this year, Minister of Police mentioned 4 provinces where township economic sabotage as a consequence of extortion is rife. And these are mainly Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, and the Eastern Cape. According to the Minister of Police, these provinces carry 73% of crime levels in South Africa. The gravity of these crimes alone, including extortions, are of serious concern to government and must be dealt with immediately. In the context of the whole of government approach, the South African Police Service has initiated the signing of cooperative agreement with provincial and local governments, which includes operational plans that will provide details on the integration of resources against crime. In addition, Honorable Deputy Chairperson, extortion and kidnapping task forums have been established in all these affected provinces, which involve all relevant stakeholders, including private businesses. Honorable Deputy Chairperson, on the implementation of measures to deal with sabotage of basic service delivery, such as water and sanitation by unscrupulous owners of water tankers, the Department of COGTA is assisting struggling municipalities with water tankers as a short-term intervention, while bulk water infrastructure challenges are being resolved. In addition to a challenge of construction mafias, which is rife all over the country, we have received reports of unscrupulous owners of water tankers who are interfering with service delivery initiatives in many municipalities, thus extorting money to rent their services, and some selling water to vulnerable communities. As I conclude, Honorable Deputy Chairperson, we are particularly encouraged by the work of CPFs, our Community Policing Forum, work of whistleblowers and community members who are actively involved in addressing service delivery related acts of criminality and extortion across all provinces that have been identified in hotspots areas. However, much more needs to be done to resolve this challenge. it is something that it's new in what the police have been dealing with, but at the moment, as I speak to you, they are on the ground. The Minister of Police indicated to me they started in the Western Cape. I think we saw them signing a deal with various other organs, and they moved to Gqeberha, and they'll be moving to all other areas. I think if we move with speed, we should be able to deal decisively with extortion. But as I said, also this issue of water tankers, we must also deal with it quickly. Thank you very much, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. Follow-up question from Honorable Ngumalo.
Inkomu eka Deputy Chairperson andivushele eka Deputy President wa hina lo anga kona namuntlha lana. Honorable Deputy President, extortion, which is often disguised as a protection money or fees, has become a significant issue that threatens the country's township economy. It has unfortunately transcended to the sabotage of the delivery of services to communities by unscrupulous thugs who are increasingly threatening not only the lives of community but also the authority of the state. My question to you, Honorable President, has the government looked at taking decisive action against state-embedded actors such as Izinduna, councillors, chiefs, and community forums that are aiding and abetting these thugs through criminal demand for shares benefit from businesses? Township SMMEs and even government infrastructure and service delivery project. I thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ngumalo. Honorable Deputy President, your response, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Cancer, Honorable Ngumalo. The issue of the role of traditional leaders is very important. The advantage we have at the moment is that we have had a platform to engage with our traditional leaders. In fact, a week ago, I had a meeting with all the kings in Pretoria. One of my responsibilities from the president is to work with traditional leaders, because you're quite right. If we don't work close with the traditional leaders, the scammers try to involve them in their extortionist method of working. So we are bringing them to our side because they also have challenges of water, service delivery in these areas. And in fact, when I went to meet with them, with Minister Hlabisa as well recently, it was clear that the kings were very excited. We supported them setting up a King's Forum for the first time, because they were saying, we want a proper platform to engage with government. So when we deal with extortionists, we must work with the traditional leaders, with the kings, to be able together to deal with these problems. So fortunately, I've not had a situation, Honorable Ngumalo, where it is rife that traditional leaders work with extortionists. But it's a danger if we don't intervene and make sure that the traditional leaders are closer to us. But it may well be that in some areas, the extortionists are trying to infiltrate areas and make traditional leaders think they are doing good. But I accept your concern, and I will make sure that as we go around the country looking at challenges to deal with traditional leaders, we close the gap quickly, that extortionists don't come in and pretend that they are doing good work. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from the Honorable Godsell.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Deputy President, extortion thrives where there is a lack of economic opportunity. On 4 September, government announced that it is addressing the root causes of extortion by inter alia working closely with international partners to share intelligence, to track criminal networks, and to bring offenders to justice. Deputy President, my question to you is, why are we outsourcing the work of crime intelligence?
Thank you very much, Honorable Godsell. Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Honorable Godsell, the approach that we use, and I'm sure I'm correct about this, is that we collaborate. It's not good for any government to outsource intelligence, but it's also, I think, prudent for government to be able to tap into the expertise of other sources in its operations as we deal with and looking at intelligence. We have a lot of good cooperation with a number of countries, because as you know, when you deal with crime is not just within our boundaries. It goes beyond our boundaries, and therefore I support collaboration beyond boundaries, but with the private sector as well. The private sector in our country has a lot of capacity to do intelligence work and so on, but certainly government will not privatize its responsibility to deal with intelligence, to be able to protect economic activity. That is something that we regard as our serious responsibility. You will recall, Honorable Godsell, that the President has taken a decision, in fact, to bring intelligence to the presidency. That's where it is now. The minister dealing with state security is in the presidency, because we want to make sure that the presidency has understanding of the whole country, has information, what is happening, and we will guard that information jealously. We will not privatize our role there, but we have to collaborate there and there and tap on the expertise of others. Thank you, Deputy Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from the Honorable Farmer.
Thank you, Deputy Chairperson. Can we agree that you won't rule me out of order this time? Because it's basically the same question, it's just a slight twist. Whether the government has any urgent, decisive measures to prevent the township economy be taken over totally by foreigners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Farmer. Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Farmer. I think it's not the same question. Yes, I think this is something that everybody is asking themselves. I mean, we all have been looking at what's happening in Soweto, especially with this problem of children being sold food that makes them sick, and some have even died. The Minister of Small Business Development, the Minister of Health, recently gave a press briefing. I don't know if honorable members saw them. They gave a press briefing about what government is doing. So we are intervening to make sure that people who sell food in schools, they are properly regulated. There are also people who sell food somewhere in the streets where schools have no control. And that's where we want the community to be very vigilant, to look into that. Because if you have to own even a spaza shop in South Africa, you must be registered so that we know who you are, what are you selling, do you have a license? So, Honorable Farmer, I agree that this is something that we must give priority to in our townships and everywhere else, because, you know, sometimes you find these hawkers even in the towns selling things, they don't have licenses, and worse, they then sell products that shouldn't be sold. And it's not just to children. I was asking the Minister of Health recently, I said to him, this food that is being sold, why is it just affecting children? Because I don't think it's only children who eat these chips and stuff that they are selling. And the Minister of Health said, no, in fact, it's just that elderly people or adults have much stronger metabolism, etc. So they are not affected. But it means even us as adults, we may be eating this. But, you know, children are young and not stronger, so it affects them quick. So the answer is, let's regulate. Government must not be lazy to regulate. It's our job. We must regulate. I know at some point we'll be accused of over-regulation. So we'll try and not over-regulate, but we must regulate. People must be able to buy proper food. Those who sell, it must be because they have a license to sell what they are selling. Yeah, and enforcement. Regulation and enforcement. In fact, the Minister of Health is going to revive getting these health inspectors going back. We need the health inspectors back, so we have agreed. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy President. We have the last but not least follow-up question from the Honorable Chirwa Mpongose.
Thank you so much, Deputy Chairperson. Greetings, Deputy President. I'm asking for the beautiful grace you just honored a honorable farmer with by Ukontionalo Mbuzing now namhlanje. Given the recent focus on fast-tracking land claims and enhancing agricultural productivity, what specific actions will be taken to address situations like that of Ms. Rebecca Molefe, who was forcefully removed from agricultural land in October 2023 by Prestige Park to make way for a residential development? This is a case of land dispossession as new as 12 months ago in a supposed democratic dispensation. Ms. Molefe, who had lived and cultivated this land since 1955, was left destitute while the Department of Agriculture seemingly turned a blind eye and refused to assist us and the family when we reached out to them. I want to find out, Deputy President, what will be done to ensure protection for rightful landholders and provide immediate response and support to families that are displaced in similar cases,
Honorable
to uphold
member,
food security and
Honorable
justice in
member,
land reform.
If I may just remind you that your question is phased on the previous question and not the one that we are addressing right now.
Absolutely. I jumped on the bandwagon of the grace that was offered to Honorable Farmer to say, Deputy President, with absolute humility.
All right.
Please sense the absolute humility. I'm coming to you forthwith
I'll
to
allow
ask
the
for
Deputy President
imvume.
to decide
Nalo
whether
moyo
he
muhle
wants
owunike
to,
Honorable Farmer ukuthi
whether
nathi
he
usinike
wants
loyo
to
moyo
answer the
muhle.
question or not. Thank you very
Ngiyabonga.
much.
Ngiyabonga, Deputy President.
Please take your seat. Honorable Deputy President, if you want to respond, you may.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chairperson. I thought as much when you started talking that you seem to have missed the boat. Yes. But if I may say, if I forgive you because you are young, uh, if I may then take an opportunity to answer you that indeed we don't want anybody to be just willy-nilly removed. Because this program of giving people land is very important. We must protect it. In fact, when I spoke in the National Assembly recently, and interestingly, the question was asked by the EFF. No, it was, in fact, it was not the EFF. I think it was MK Party. Yeah, wait. Let me answer here. So I then said in the National Assembly, the struggle in our country has always been a struggle for land. You can say anything else you think of, but the struggle has always been the struggle for land. So we take this issue of land distribution, restitution very seriously. So, Honorable Chirwa, so if people are given land, we must protect that. To the extent that you have noticed that in some parts of our country, somebody else have been removed unfairly, and so on. Let's get that information so we can intervene and sort it out, because this is a very important issue for government. Next time, make sure you are in the house when the right question is being dealt with.
It was actually not our mistake, Deputy President. It's the table that receives names.
No, Honorable
I was
Member,
meant
you are
to
out
do a
of
follow-up
order.
on number 5, and I took number
You
6.
are out
But
of
this
order,
situation,
Honorable
Deputy
Member.
President, it was important. Siyabonga kakhulu.
No, you must
Siyabonga.
not do that in the House. Honorable Member, yesterday I advised you.
Yeah.
Now you're doing the same thing again, and you are not supposed to be doing that.
Yes, I thought she was not in the house, but maybe she was. But Honorable Chairperson, yes, was she the last person? Oh, yes. So let me take this opportunity to. I know that I may not have an opportunity to answer questions this year, and since I don't have another session with the NCOP, let me take the opportunity to thank all of you, honorable members, and wish you well as you go to holidays to spend time with your families. I have had good time with you this year. I don't know, maybe next year you'll be rougher. But I always enjoy coming to the NCOP. Thank you very much, Deputy Chair. That's why you're not rough.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. Honorable members, if you could take your seats for a few minutes, I just have an announcement. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. I can assure you that in this house, you're always welcome, and you will very often get a good reception. I can assure you of that. Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, it has been brought to my notice that our colleague, Honorable Boshoff, has lost her husband this morning. And it is very sad that I inform you of this, of the demise of Mr. Boshoff. And on behalf of all of us here, I will convey our condolences to the Boshoff family and pray that our Lord will comfort them during this sad time. I've taken the liberty to write a letter of condolence on behalf of all of us, which I will give to Honorable Badenhorst to convey to the family. There's been a request from Honorable Boshoff that she will not take any phone calls during the next 2 or 3 days, and we can understand that, and let's respect that. Thank you very much, honorable delegates. Honorable Deputy President, once again, thank you very much. And I want to thank all MECs that would have joined us, permanent delegates, as well as special delegates and representatives of SALGA who have been with us. Thank you very much, ma'am. And honorable delegates, that closes the business of the day. The House is now adjourned.